What's going on, everybody? It's Slick Rick here. I'm gonna make a detailed guide on how to deal with Kabal and Jade's air projectile zoning. Now, I made another video on my channel about it, but this is some general tips. I have my dummy to do an air projectile, like a neutral jump, and then another neutral jump, and then I have him doing a neutral jump one and a backwards one, and a neutral jump one and a forward jump one. Okay, now I only have about 3 tips. It's pretty simple on how to deal with it, but if you're on tilt, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Now, the first tip I'm gonna give is somewhat character specific. It depends on what your character can do. If your character has an option like this, and I'm going to show you the first option. Let me go ahead and change my thing. The first option is just simple. Just go full screen, especially against Kabal. As you can see, it whiffs. There's no way it can reach. It doesn't go full screen. It doesn't matter if he goes forward or backwards after the second one, or if he does 2 forward ones or 2 forward ones, it'll still whiff. And if he's advancing towards you, like jumping towards you and doing it, just keep dashing full screen. Just keep dashing full screen, and you'll always avoid it. All right. And if your character has an option, you could punish him on the way down if your character has a full screen option like Geras. Alright. Okay. Okay, so that's one tip for that. Okay. If your character has an option, you could just go full screen, just chill, and just wait for him to come down and punish him. And it also keeps you safe. I mean, it doesn't work just for characters that doesn't have an option. If you just want to just get away from him and just don't want to deal with it, you can just go full screen. Okay. Now, the second tip I have is to pretty much, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You can just pretty much read and interrupt him out of it with a jump normal. Alright, you get the gist of it, okay? But it has to be a read, though. If you try to do it when he's already at the top of his jump, it'll be too late. Okay, you can't just go up and get him. You have to. It has to be, or you have to do it on the very first frames of his jump. All right. See, I got him right there, but it has to be in the first few frames of his jump. It's still mostly a read, though. See that? You see when I tried to do it on reaction, I got clipped. You have to. It has to be a read, though. You have to, you know. And it also depends on where you are on the screen. Like if you're somewhat close to him, this works, you know. But if you're around here, it's not really. You can't really do it from here. You can jump over it. Hold on, let me stop that. If you do it from around here, doesn't really work. It depends on what kind of air normal your character has. You know, if your character has it depends on where you're on the screen and how far you are away from him. Determines how much this is gonna work. If you're around here, I don't know if your character will be able to clip him from here. You know, and he'll be able to clip you out of it. You have to be like around, like just outside down 4 range. You know, like around here, like, you know. But if you're farther away, like around here, and it's not really a good option for you. Okay. So that's another tip. Just, you know, try to interrupt them, read, and just interrupt them out of it in the air. Now, the third tip I have is It's another read. It's another read tip. You can read that he's gonna jump and dash in and uppercut him, or hit him out of it, or whatever you want to do. Okay. Keep in mind it has to be a read, because if you do it too late or when he's already in the air, he can clip you out of your dash. See that? Okay. Alright. Whatever you want to do. Alright. Keep in mind it has to be a read though. If you try to do it when he's in the air, he's gonna clip you. Okay. Now, what happens if you block the first air projectile and he does it again? Well, you can just do the same thing. You can just block, and if he does it right again afterward, just dash in. You can pretty much do it on a rhythm. You can pretty much just, okay, I'm gonna block the first one and I'm gonna dash in, and more often than not, you're gonna be in on him. So let me demonstrate that. Can you do something? Okay, you get the gist of it. Alright. You can either dash and... Now you look. Let's see if you're right here. That can work. Let's see. Alright. But if you're around here, you want to dash and, you know, do something like that. You know? Now, that doesn't really work if he does it backwards. Oh, well, it does. But you're gonna have to do the long range one, I believe. Okay. Yeah, it works. Depending on which, you know, it works. So that's one thing you can do. And if you just want to get away from them and just don't want to deal with it, you can just always jump backwards. Alright. Now, if he does a neutral jump one, if he does a neutral jump one, you can just jump right backwards after the first one and avoid the second one. But if he does a forward one, that probably ain't gonna work. Listen. All right, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to dash and jump back. All right. Okay. So those are the tips I have for Kabal.